In the bright moonlight, you are my sun. A Ladynoir July month-long fanfiction series. Day 6. Clown. It has been rough. It has been very rough. There are points in time when the Akuma attacks become even more aggressive and frequent. Typically, he's exhausted by the end of the week and resigns to crash into his bed for however long it is possible, with his father's crazy schedule made for a kid who doesn't spend half their day in a superhero's costume trying to save the city. He's been exhausted and grumpy for the past 2 weeks, and he's well aware that he's not the only one. Ladybug is also taking the toll of the attacks, if not more than him. She has to be the face and try and calm down the media. He prefers to stay away from the cameras as much as possible when he's Shaniartist. Ladybug is great with the press, but her patience with them can wear thin. Definitely not her fault, because the press are very pushy sometimes. Shaniartist notices every time she wants to snap at the reporters to just shut up. This entire situation of stress and lack of sleep isn't helped by the midnight patrols they take nearly every other night. It's just cautionary, but sometimes it just really saves the day and actually gets them home earlier than on nights they just stay in. It's just a sacrifice they're both willing to make for the good of their city and rest. I want to say this is the most boring patrol we've had. Shaniartist breaks mid-sentence to yawn. Ladybug gives him a wary and sympathetic eyes. But I'd be lying if I said that. And I don't lie to you, he says, nudging her and trying to lighten the mood. That's for sure, Ladybug sighs. I'm happy nothing's happening. No one's getting akumatized today, but gosh, I just want to go home. Rubbing her temples, her eyes flutter open and closed a couple of times. Shot smiles at her tiredly and laughs a bit. It sounds like we're middle-aged adults who work a 9-to-5 desk job, he jokes. Ladybug considers his words for a moment, and then flashes an amused smile. That's weirdly accurate, she says. We're not getting any retirement money out of this. Or any at all, she points out. Shot nods. Yeah, maybe we should file a complaint. He grins and bumps her shoulder. She bumps his back. I wonder what that would look like. Dear Mr. Mayor, we've been saving the day and in turn the city for many years now. We have put in hard work, time, effort, and lots of sweat and blood. We have realized how crucial our jobs are and how dangerous it is. Thus, we request a pay raise for the work we do. You may start by paying us a sum of money. Any amount above $1,000 will be accepted, and any more will be negotiated. Thank you, and you're welcome for saving the day. Ladybug and Shaniartist. He speaks in a silly voice, and it succeeds in making Ladybug laugh. Oh, he'd love that, she says sarcastically. If you presented that to him, he'd look at you like you were a court jester or a circus clown before shooing away your presents. Ladybug makes a good point. He'd give her that. It's not like he's greedy for money. God forbid he's had enough of that wealthy rich person life at this point. It's just a payback thing. They put in the work. Why don't they get much back? Especially Ladybug. She just nearly carries this entire city on her back, protecting it, inspiring it, basically leading it in times of struggles. Shot makes a dramatic noise and clutches his chest, falling into the ground to sell the wounded act. Ladybug is watching him with a chuckle and eye roll. A jester? A clown? He screeches. You think so low of me? I'm very offended, he says, breaking character at the end by smiling. Ladybug, who has also stopped walking, and is practically leaning right over him with a smile. Oh, I've known you were one since the day we met, she says. He drops into an even more dramatic pose, much to her amusement. This is a massive betrayal, he pouts. This is actually pretty normal. She replies, standing up on his own 2 feet, because technically he is a cat, they continue to patrol the city. They just nearly made it around. Shaniartist yawns and looks onto his staff for the time. It's almost 1 a.m. He turns to face Ladybug, who has leaned over his shoulder to view the time as well. I think we should go home at like 1 a.m., he says. It's nearly been 4 hours, and I just really want to crash while standing, Shaniartist admits. Ladybug snorts. Same, she tells him. He yawns again. She sends him a smirk this time. I'm so tired. Reiterating is redundant, but Shaniartist is so tired. He literally does not care. In the slightest. Ladybug coos, running a hand through his blonde locks. The movement nearly sends him into a slumber right there, then and there. To keep from falling asleep so randomly, he bats her hands away from his hair. She cackles, but retreats. At once, he nearly misses the feeling, but it could also be him just missing the taste of sleep. It's all up in the air at nearly 1 a.m. Poor kitty, she says with a giggle. Do you require story to stay awake? She asks. She sounds pretty genuine. But the light post also kind of looks like a giraffe right now, so he has no idea how well his brain is processing anything right now. Isn't that how you put, like, a kid to sleep? He mutters out. Not mine, Ladybug says in a sing-song voice. With a sigh, Shaniartist motions for her to start talking and just nearly leans onto her shoulders. Ladybug has to hold him upright, and that causes her lips to curl into a smirk that he is too tired to retort. Oh, so you would like to hear it, she teases. Yes, he mutters. All right, she laughs. Her laughter sounds like 3 scoops of sweet cream ice cream from Andre. What on earth just popped into his head? So, once there was this boy. He interjects with a, yeah. She continues talking. And he had this really cool magic powers, he hums. When he speaks the correct words, he gets turned into a circus clown. You see, he loves to perform in the circus, but his father didn't allow him to do so because he didn't consider it manly. But when he gained his magical powers, he could do it in secret, she says. Shaniartist cracks his eye open at her and narrows it suspiciously. Are you trying to put my life story into this story? That's such a ripoff. Apparently, his filter doesn't work at the minimal amount of sleep a human needs to stand. Ladybug gives him a strange look. Never mind, he mutters deliriously, and his hand is waving like he's at Coachella. She ignores that part too. I'm just trying to tell you a nice story. You're just a little too self-centered for this, she teases. He doesn't do much more than hum and protest. Anyway, he has these wonderful powers. And what he does is amazing. He makes people laugh. He makes the sad people smile. He makes the scared open their eyes. He creates joy, laughter, and love with his powers. He's a sensation. He's amazing, she says almost breathlessly. It's not long before everyone loves him, adores him. It's so easy. How could one hate him? She laughs as she sees him staggering his feet. But one day, his father comes home from a trip a little earlier than expected, and he sees the house empty and his son gone. Immediately, he knows where to look. Somehow, the story is really keeping him awake. He just really wants to hear the ending, and he also has a feeling that the boy is actually him. His sleep-deprived mind is hazing around with a goofy smile at the idea that she just may think so highly of him. Tell me more, he whispers. I am. Ladybug laughs, sounding again like ice cream. If that makes sense. His father planned to shout and scream at him. He planned to drag his son back and make him be the son that he wanted so badly. But when his father saw the love, when he saw the joy that his son had created, he couldn't do it. His father realized that he couldn't shout at someone who was only doing good for the world. He realized that he was so desperate for his son to do what he wanted, what he had been trying to destroy, when he had been trying to destroy the one thing that his son wanted to do. So when the show ended and the son saw his father and feared for the rest of his days, his father surprised him. He hugged his son. His father said how proud he was, how much he loved watching the show, and vowed to never stop him from performing again. And that's the end of the story, she says in a laugh. Shaniartist just barely blinks his eyes. It's over? He slurs. Yes, Ladybug holds him upright. Now, we patrolled the whole city, and you need to go home, she says sternly. Shot gives her the most tired two-fingered salute possible. Good night, Ladybug, he says. Good night, circus clown, she teases right back. A smile appears on his face. Slowly, the story was about him. He knew it. Bye, he says again, and turns to trudge home. He's tired, and he will most definitely analyze everything tomorrow, but right now he will bask in the affection that she has for him, whether that be romantic or platonic. And this beautiful, cool